All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Zyori Podcast. We're here with episode number 86. We've got another fun and exciting guest this week, the creator of the Dota Reporter. Back-to-back YouTubers. We had Bommy on last week, and we've got another 150K sub YouTube guy here with us this week. Usually in the wake of a big tournament that I attend, such as the Frankfurt Major, I dedicate a podcast, just talk about the event and go over all that stuff, but I did that on What the Duck this week. So I wanted to do something a little bit different here, and I saw the headline that our Dota Reporter creator is going to be taking a little break, at least from Season 5 of the show. So we're going to talk about all things Dota Reporter related and then some other stuff as well. And kind of similar to last week, we're going to compare and contrast here the differences between YouTube and Twitch TV that we all love so much. So Wronchi, my friend, how's it going, man? Thank you for making some time on this beautiful Saturday night, 7 o'clock on the Eastern Coast. Instead of partying, we're here nerding it up, talking about video games and Dota creations.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, this is a typical Saturday night for me, so nothing out of the ordinary.
Yep, I can empathize with that. See, I make up for it by living that nomadic life. I've been traveling around a lot the past 4 months, and that's helped me forget the alone Saturdays once you lose track of what time zone you're in, what day it is, all that kind of stuff. Did you you weren't at the major. Where are you located? You're an East Coast guy. Have you been to TI? Have we crossed paths before? Is there any chance that I've seen you at an event?
Yes, TI5 is the only event I've been to. I think we ran into each other in the hotel lobby of the, what's it called? The big one.
so we actually have met before, and I'm just
very
spaced.
Briefly.
Was I drunk? Because that happened at TI a couple times.
It's possible that it was the morning after the after party. So,
oh, yeah, that was probably a fun morning.
So, yeah, I think that's when it was. I know it was toward the end.
Oh, fair enough. Well, that's good. I'm glad we got to cross paths a little bit. So I want to start kind of at the beginning. I want to hear a little bit about you and how you got into Dota and all this kind of stuff. But I want to start just with some hard questions about the Dota Reporter. And at the beginning, where did you originally get the idea from it? And I mean, how does it feel right now do you feel relieved having publicly said now that you're taking a break and you're going to focus on some other stuff in your life? Does it kind of feel like that weight is off your chest?
Yeah, I'll start just by saying the idea came, I don't know, when I was 16, like long time ago, years ago.
How old are you now?
I am 25 now.
Okay, I'm 26, so in good company.
Nice. What was? Oh yeah, I made stupid cartoons on Newgrounds back then, so not much has changed.
Okay.
But I started off with the StarCraft Reporter, which was basically, it's a terribly animated. It's basically the same premise. It's just a neutral person in a weird video game world, and it's like, wow, isn't it weird that this is in the video game? Haha, that kind of thing.
The kind of fourth wall thing.
Right. And I guess the concept of just that, I don't know, I just didn't grow from it. Just kind of kept it. So throw in the neutral guy into the mix and just kind of roll with it. Even though I think toward the end, like, he was the least important aspect of the show in general, but whatever.
Right.
And the other part of the question was, am I relieved? I'd say yeah. I would be. Would be accurate to say.
So, and how long were you doing the Dota Reporter? How long have you been working on this project? It's at least been a few years now, right?
I think the first episode was January 2013.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it wasn't really regular back then because I didn't know what I was doing. Not that I do now or anything, but yeah, that's when it kind of started.
So give us kind of a breakdown of the process from start to finish, because it takes some storyboarding to create the whole concept for the season and where you want to go with it. How much time do you allocate towards that stuff? Then how much time does it take per episode of just straight creation of drawing pictures and starting the animation process?
Mm-hmm. So for better or worse, I usually like to compare the production cycle like South Park. I don't know if you're familiar with how they make their episodes at all.
A little bit. I've seen some of their spoken stuff, but refresh those of us that are a little foggy.
Sure. So there's a documentary, I believe it's called 6 Days to Air or something like that. But basically, to stay topical, generate an episode at like from beginning to end in a week, and then they air it. Yeah. So I like to refer to my process as a really, really small micro version of that, where I just kind of, okay, the beginning of the week, I'm going to write the thing. Okay, I wrote a thing. I guess I should make it now. And then somehow I ended up with an episode.
Okay.
So a lot less planning than is probably a good idea, but
Okay. No, I kind of know what you mean. When I first started doing videography stuff, I would just sort of go to events and just shoot things kind of randomly. And then after the event was done, I would look at all the footage I got and then try to piece it together to tell some kind of a story or put it together in a way that made sense.
mhm.
Now I try to have as much of a vision as possible before I go there, or try to define what I want to get and then target that, and then it makes the editing process a lot easier because you already kind of have this skeleton of how you want things to go. So you're kind of more of the latter, I guess, where you just come up with ideas and piece it together and see where it takes you as you go along.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, there's pros and cons to that, where I think the pros were sort of, it can stay topical, kind of,
Hmm.
as much as an animation that takes a little bit to make can be. And that, I guess, I like improvising, I guess, and it just, I don't know, it felt fresh and spontaneous to do it that way, but it just wasn't very planned, which
Hmm.
is, I don't know, I guess it caught up with me, I'd say.
Right. So you strike watching your announcement video or vlog, whatever you want to call it, when you were talking about taking a break.
Yeah.
There were a lot of areas in there where I sort of felt a bit empathetic. I think a lot of people that have worked in esports for a consistent period, especially in a full-time manner or in content creation around video games, it's really easy to get burned out because there's just this wealth of information all the time. There's always this feeling like you could be doing something else, or you could be watching a stream, or you could be talking to someone to come up with your next bit, or you could be working on that next video, or you could have spent more time working on the video you felt like you had to post because you weren't keeping up with your content deadline. Um, how did you deal with that for so long, and how did you let it catch up with you in the end as it has now? I mean, how long of a break do you see yourself taking, or are you just sort of rolling with the punches and seeing how it feels?
Um, I think as far as a break, I guess there's two breaks I'm thinking of. There's the break of the actual cartoon series itself, and the break of me actually making anything.
Hmm.
Which I want to make something soon. I kind of need to. um, but at the same time, with like the Dota 2 Reporter itself, I don't want to make it be the only thing I do, and I feel like I just need to reevaluate how I do it and plan more.
Hmm.
Like, uh, I got an idea for an episode. I want to make it, and it just needs to be short and doable for me as one person, and then
Hmm.
I can release it sometime later instead of like vomiting out an episode at the end of a week like that I had been working on up till then, like
Yeah.
that
Well, I
kind of thing.
remember when I was doing the Dota Radio Morning Show, interviewing Purian Flax and asking him about his creative process, and he just kind of laughed because everything he does in that arena is secondary to being a dad. That's kind of what he does first, right?
Hmm.
Which is pretty awesome because as he puts it, once you have kids, everything else can just fuck off. That's what's really important. So it's very easy for him, when he has haters or whatever, to just kind of scoff it off and just giggle back. But another nice addition to that is he doesn't feel obligated to have his content come out on a schedule. He said he just gets an idea, he just kind of works on it, and when it comes together, he posts it, and then he moves on to another one. And he just lets the inspiration come to him and has never put himself on any kind of timeline. You just go through these bursty periods where you have a lot of really good ideas, and then these kind of dry spells when you're out of creative juices and have to take a little break, and that's when you play other games or just stream yourself playing, or
Hmm.
take a break from the computer as a whole. I always thought that was kind of an interesting way to go about it, and that's a way to take away some of that stress if you're in a situation where you can afford to not have a content schedule. But I think there's a lot of data out there to show that keeping things out consistently is definitely good for the snowball effect, keep people's attention and whatnot.
Yeah, the schedule thing. Early on, I was doing it weekly. I don't know. I guess first few seasons,
Hmm.
and then later I was doing it every 2 weeks. And I don't know. It was hard to see. It's harder to stay relevant, like you were saying, with schedule.
Yeah.
Um, and I wanted to note about. I wanted to say that I envy that creative process if I could, but I don't think I can. I feel like a schedule would still needs to be something I need to try to stick to, because in some ways it's helpful.
Yeah,
If there's a deadline, you need to just meet it, or maybe you could spend some
it's true.
time on something forever. If it's like, well, I guess it's not done yet.
Yeah.
That's a lot of times with episodes. I was like, well, I guess that's the episode that I'm going to upload because it's time. Here it is.
Yeah. It's kind of a
yeah.
balancing act, but you're definitely right. It can be good to have deadlines just so that you're sort of forced to get things done and move on to the next task, because you're right. If you don't ever have any deadlines, it's very easy to get caught up in one task or
hmm
have trouble defining when is it good enough, because often, when you're creating something, you never feel like it's completely finished. And in the case of a video, once you package it and put it out on YouTube, there's no update in it, maybe an annotation or two, but that's pretty
hmm
chintzy compared to doing it right the first time. Did you ever think about or look into trying to outsource any of the animation stuff, or have somebody tag team it, for example, or was that just never in the cards? Are you a
Well,
solo kind of guy?
it crossed my mind. It's not. I think it's a thing where I would not feel good making somebody do that for free.
Well, surely
I
you
don't know
could
if that's like the right.
give them a little bit of a share, give them a
Yeah,
percentage,
yeah.
throw them some bones.
I suppose.
Huh?
Well, I'd love to do that if I had bones. So that's my issue.
Okay, I see.
But that's yeah. I just my resource that I've spent up has been time. I don't know, and I
I
just
see.
don't have the money resource.
So, and you mentioned that a big part of the income that has allowed you to continue doing it for so long has been Patreon rather than just the ad rev dollars you get on YouTube.
hmm
How can you give me like a rough ballpark of what was Patreon like 50% of your total income from these projects, like 70%? Like how extreme was Patreon? Is YouTube ad rev like really that much in the dumper for this kind of content?
I'd say roughly, like most of this year, like 50% is probably accurate.
Okay. Wow.
But
So
there are a lot of problems with short videos. Yeah, I've said this in in my update or whatever. The
yeah.
short videos with every 2 weeks, like sure, there's I think like hundreds and thousands of views every time, but um, not all of them are monetized. Honestly, another aspect is that maybe half of the views on YouTube are nothing against Russia, but the Russian views, and they don't amount to any money. Like that's just the truth.
It's yeah, dude. You don't even have to be timid to say it. We've talked about it on here plenty of
Yeah.
times. It's just a statement of fact, really. It's an area of the
hmm
world where the ad fill is really low. It's just like Southeast Asia. It's where Twitch doesn't have a lot of sales partners because of language barrier, all this kind of stuff, and the ad fill is awful. That when you roll ads, you don't get much money, and those two regions have a really high instance of ad block. I think Russia is one of the highest per if you look at just geographical regions of people that use Twitch and YouTube and consume the kind of content that we make. Russia and CIS is exceptionally high for ad block, like
hmm
higher than 50% in most cases.
And then there's just the kind of thing where, yeah, it's ad block, how many of the views actually were monetized. And then with Patreon, it's hard to actually know what will actually become of it because of monthly limits that people set, or that they just have their card
Right.
declined and never update it.
Oh,
So
really?
from the public, it looks like more than it is.
Really? So
Uh,
that's pretty common where
pretty much
somebody will
always,
like
yeah.
put in a card and then that shows up on here as a Patreon, but they're not actually paying you.
Yeah, it's pretty common.
Oh, wow. That's unfortunate.
So yeah, I would be willing to say that like any Patreon that you look at would probably not be accurate.
Yeah. Patreon is a pretty cool idea. I've thought
Yeah.
about it a couple times. I've had a lot of people ask me. I mean, I stream inconsistently at best. I'm always working on other projects, or streaming on BTS or Moonduck, or doing working events or something, and it's
Mm.
not on my channel. And people say, well, why don't you just set up a Patreon and people will give you money? I'm like, well, I would do it if I had a specific project that it was catered for. Sort of like
Mhm.
help me fund this particular video series or this particular idea, or not just to me it seemed weird to just give me money because you like me. And it's the same reason I don't really have a donation. I think there's a donation button under my Twitch now. I didn't have one for a long time because it's just
Mhm.
like I don't really, and I'm bad at that. I'm kind of bad at taking a compliment. So when someone gives me a donation, I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
what to
me
do.
too.
I'm like, thanks dude, you're really cool. You're helping me
Yeah,
out.
I kind of feel the same way.
We're not friends though, like that's the problem. I don't want people to get too close. And that's happened before. Like in the past I used to, accept people on Facebook if they'd been around the stream for a while. Big mistake, man. Just because they consume a lot of Twitch content does not mean you want to be friends with them on your personal Facebook. Give them access to just like message you whenever they want and it fucking notifies your phone. It's bad. And those are the people that they are genuine hardcore fans, so you don't want to insult them by removing them from that access because they'll notice right away, and then they'll just fuck off and feel really offended. So you have to, once you're in, and you have to just tread lightly and kind of disengage and deflect. It's tough. It's tough. But so what happens to your Patreon now? Do people just kind of peter out? Are you going to cancel it, or what happens when you have something like this where it goes dark?
Well, I'm still planning on having it be per completed animation, so to speak.
Okay, yeah, so yours isn't on a timeline, so it's still...
Yeah, so it's not
Okay.
per month.
So you're not breaching the... the very, very crafty. That's good.
Yeah, I think I've done that for... I mean, I've always done it with this Patreon. I've seen a lot that are monthly. And that's something I'd like to do if it were appropriate someday.
Yeah.
But I don't know, if I feel like if I'm not making anything or, whatever, that it doesn't seem right.
Well, Ohio's a nice, cheap place to live. That's going to help a little bit.
Yeah. That's
It's better than Los Angeles,
it's not really the place to be as far as like creating and collaborating.
The place to be.
But
Well, I mean, part of the secret with that kind of work, and I mean, this is not even a joke. The secret to a lot of these big production companies that are in LA and San Francisco, New York City, and have these nice offices, they farm out a fair portion of their work to Eastern Europe because of the exchange rate and how cheap the cost of living is there. If you can just send somebody a bunch of videos and they have decent enough internet to download and upload, just farm it out to people in that part of the world. You can pay them half as much as you would somebody in America, get the same quality because the skills are pretty ubiquitous. And there's genius editors from every language, every ethnicity. They're living the dream in their home country. They work for you remotely. You're living the dream because you're getting them for a deal. That's where it's at, dude. Move to Eastern Europe.
All right. Well, today I learned.
Hungary, Romania, Ukraine, all hot spots for young tech individuals like yourself.
Nice.
Yeah, no,
I got to be on the eye for hotspots, man. Central Ohio.
It's true though.
The hotspot.
Is your real passion animating? Is that what you're going to keep doing? Are you just are you going to pull a 180? Get a CDL truck driving license or go?
Good question.
Go into game.
I haven't thought about the truck driving.
Okay.
Which I don't know.
It's
Maybe
just the polar opposite. Sometimes when you get burned out, you're just like, okay, I've been in Hawaii for 5 years. We're going to Alaska. Anchorage, here we come. Sometimes that's what you got to do.
You gotta figure out. You don't have no regrets. Make sure you've tried everything. You don't want to be like, wait, what if I was a really good baseball player? What if I was a really good truck driver?
I mean, Michael Jordan tried. All right, I nailed basketball. Let's just try baseball. Let's have a go. Nope, not for me. I'm actually retiring now. Okay, I'll see you guys again in a couple movies.
God. You mean this whole time I was a truck driver and I didn't know it. So it's been my life's calling. But what was I was gonna say something actually serious, but I don't remember what it was. So
something about exploring new opportunities.
Oh, like I guess what am I actually gonna be doing? Animation, blah blah.
Yes.
The true passion. What is it?
Aye.
Right.
The true passion.
Well, I think animation has been more of just like a vessel for, I guess, I love writing and voice acting and directing and improvising kind of thing.
Okay.
And I've just animated for long enough that it kind of just serves the purpose well enough, I thought at the time. Okay. Not that I'm like the greatest animator on earth or anything, like quite the opposite. I have like puppet models that I tilt and lots of main characters that don't have mouths wow, animating mouths sucks.
Yeah.
Wouldn't recommend it. So, I mean,
it's pretty damn good though. And you do all the voices yourself, right? All those different voices, or are you with effects and stuff?
I do a lot of the voices.
Oh, yeah, I know Slacks was helping in the last season. So I guess you have guests that come in every so often to do voice stuff for you.
Yeah, Slacks helped out for the most recent few episodes, and I've always had a friend of mine named Mike who did a lot of the characters who had low voices that I don't have.
Okay.
So
Have
It's
you
been
done
mostly
any
just two
like
people.
freelance voice acting? You've
Um,
got the pipes for it. I bet you could do it.
I never really even thought about it, honestly.
I've
I
thought of it.
actually,
I always
I
thought it would be a
actually,
cool job, but I never got anywhere with it. I sent in a few applications, never got any callbacks, so I don't know what's going on there.
I actually just helped. Have you heard of Carbot Animations?
No, but
Oh, you haven't? Okay. Well, I'm sure
what is it
somebody.
again?
Carbot Animations.
Carbot? No, I.
He's like a good animator who does parodies for lots of Blizzard games and stuff.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people like him. I don't know. I mean, he's cool.
But
But
sure,
actually,
he's good. I'll take
the
your word
reason
for
I'm
it.
bringing it up is that I helped voice something recently.
Okay.
So that was like the only freelancing I've done. Is just kind of, wow, I did something.
I mean, that's something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's one of those industries I don't really know how you start. You know, the do you ever play League of Legends at all?
Technically,
Do you know Tristana,
sure,
the
but no.
little gnome, the gnome bitch with the cannon?
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, yeah. She has like a high pitched voice. The girl that
Mhm.
is the voice actor of her streams on Twitch, and I don't know. She's like I think for a job she's like a freelance voice actress. She's done some others that I don't know what games they're from, and she streams on Twitch. But that's the only person I know that's actually a legit voice actor. But she's fucking serious. You know, if you go to her YouTube, she like does the imitations of all the voices of characters in different games, and you're like, Jesus, how does one person make so many different voices?
Oh man, so they're good.
Yeah,
I got to
they're
work
like,
on that then.
they're like real voice actors. I know. I'm just a dude with a mediocre voice. Mine's not even good. You know, once you work in this broadcasting arena for a while, you bump into people like AC or Breaky CPK that you talk to him and on the internet. You think, okay, he's got a good mic. Oh, he's got some EQ. Yeah, well, he's friends with the sound engineer.
Ooh,
You
bass.
meet him in real life, and then you just go, Jesus Christ, dude! It sounds like you're coming out of a goddamn radio. How do you do it? How is that your everyday voice? My everyday voice is like a mix of Jerry Seinfeld and a white kid who yelled too much and now has a deep voice. You know, it's that weird kind of South Jersey, not really an accent, but still kind of an accent. I say water weird.
Water.
I'm jealous. I'm so jealous of those people that just woke up one day and were born to broadcast. It's a fucking gift.
Yeah.
And most of
I'm
them
definitely
waste
not
it.
that person.
Yeah, I
Broadcasting
don't
would
know,
be
man.
bad.
Maybe you just have a nice mic, but you've got a nice range to you, a good timbre.
Yeah, I suppose. I guess maybe I was leaning more toward the broadcasting thing.
You remind me of
The field you're in.
You've got a little Suns fan in you.
Yeah.
I think so.
I've heard people say they look like him.
That you look like him.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one. Maybe a little.
I've heard it more than once, so that's the only reason I brought it up.
Yeah, he's got the afro thing going on though. I don't know. It seems like you keep it pretty close to the melon.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's good stuff. So you mentioned before we started that Twitch not something that you've really enjoyed. You tried streaming once, and apparently it was not what you were expecting. What were you expecting, and what happened?
I guess I tried streaming some things to like only my friends because I was actually that insecure about it. Like I don't know, it was weird. I'm weird about it. It's a flaw. But
Okay.
I did.
What were you
stream
streaming?
over the summer.
Just
Over the
you,
summer,
like,
I streamed
playing first person and just webcam like
Mhm.
normal style. Okay, you weren't doing
yeah.
like the creative thing or anything.
I did do the creative thing. Like a lot over the summer, I was working on like a short film contest thing for
Mhm.
TI. And I was streaming like most of me making that, and it was pretty fun.
What was
But
the
it just-
viewership like?
For the on Twitch, it was I don't know, maybe like 70 people
Okay,
per.
because you have enough YouTube subs and videos out there that if you turn on that annotation thing, it might push decent traffic to your stream.
I think I had that on.
Yeah, because like last week, like Balmy has 150K subs, I think,
Mm-hmm.
which is what do you have 250 or so? I forget.
Yeah, around there.
Okay, so you even have more than him. And before we started the podcast, like 20 minutes beforehand, he just put up a short little 30-second video. Said, "Hey guys, I'm about to do this podcast with Zyori. Here's the link. I'll see you there." And then that was it. And like 500 people turned up. And then he just deleted the video when the podcast was over. So if you did that when you were streaming, that's just like for yourself, I bet you could get a decent audience to the point that it would be at least worth it. Like you could get a partnered channel, you could probably get like 30 subs or whatever. That could be a way to pad your income for making stuff on YouTube, because people, you don't really have to do anything, just sit there and do your normal shit, maybe occasionally respond to chat, and people will just who like you and think you're cool will watch it and maybe throw money at you.
Wow. I mean, the part about people thinking I'm cool, that's pretty awesome.
I know, man. That's the only reason I do it. It hasn't happened yet. 5 years. I'm still holding out for the. I used to think I was cool when I had dreads, and then I cut the dreads and realized I wasn't as cool as I thought. So now I'm on the upswing again, slowly working my way back towards an acceptable level of self-confidence. It's tough stuff, dude. It is rough being on Twitch, I have to admit. It's weird how used to like reading chat and getting that instant feedback of, oh, did I say something funny? Did they not like the joke? Did they even get the joke? Kind of a thing. It's oddly addictive in some ways. I used to hate it, and then you kind of learn to love it, and then when you don't have it, you just think, man, I could be making jokes on Twitch right now.
I wake up in the middle of the night. I could be streaming and read words on the right of my
there was
screen.
a long time when I thought being a Twitch variety streamer was the fucking dream. If you're one of those people that just every time a new game comes out, you buy it up on Steam, or rather somebody gifts it to you on Steam, you play it for a week's worth of games, you play with subs like Soda Pop, and that guy just fucking fucks around. That's it. He's just a dick, and it's cool because it's like kind of a joke, but it's not really a joke, and people literally throw money at him, and he says thank you, and then wastes it on online gambling. That is...
Yeah. So I'm gonna say something. I don't know how it's gonna sound, but I'm gonna choose my words. I'm gonna attempt to choose my words. I don't like the culture of Twitch overall, generally.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just a bold thing to say as we're broadcasting on Twitch.
Very, very broadly, like not specific little things, like like just the whole.
Are you talking about titty streams? Is that kind of what you're getting into?
No,
here? Okay.
I guess soda popping, like we said, like I don't understand the appeal personally.
Oh,
I don't know.
You know, I didn't, and then the first time I watched him play play blackjack, I don't know what it was. Just something about watching this guy bet like $2,000 a hand on blackjack and getting really into it. And every time he doesn't get the, have you seen the way they do it with it's the real life people in Vegas?
And that kind of creeped me out.
It's creepy. So that's what held my attention. And he's like, come on, bitch, give me an 8, give me an 8, give me an 8. She throws down a 9. He's just like, fuck you, and he just starts yelling at her, and it's kind of like the reason I've seen more than a season of Jersey Shore, because I just want to see where that train wreck is headed, like I feel like at some point he's either going to pick up something and break it, or she's going to yell back, in which case we gotta stream, but yeah, in more seriousness, I kind of agree with you. I don't understand how it got to that point,
Right,
like
I feel
what
like
was so cool about it when he had 1,000 viewers.
There's like a template that a lot of streamers seem to follow that I don't know, it just gets me in a weird way. Like, just the fan names, like you have your fan club has a certain name. You just tell people in chat to say something and just wait to read them all saying it and get satisfaction out of it. Like, does that make any sense?
No. It's this very self-serving kind of.
I don't know.
For me, it's when I see. I mean, you can call them titty streamers if you want. I like that. I like that phrase because it's a little bit offensive, even though it really doesn't bother me that they're around. But the one thing that does eat at me a little bit is there's no appreciation for how easy and robotic all these things are. Like the crazy Twitch alerts and the donation that automatically reads the text and all this money going here and there, and you've got all this Twitch plugin that shows Twitch chat like that. Like, god damn, bitch, I remember back in the day when we didn't have overlays. That was something that didn't exist yet. We were using Adobe Flash Media Encoder to grab a whole monitor, and that was it.
Boy.
Webcam, are you kidding me? I had an old just piece of shit mic with 3 adapters plugged into the back of a computer. It was It was awful. If you had a 720p stream with 30 FPS, people would watch it no matter what you were playing just because they were ogling at the beauty that was 720p that few other streamers could get at. You know, these are like the pre-Twitch TV days. This existed, and these people have no fucking recollection of that. They just turn up a year in, like, I've been streaming on Twitch for 3 months. I look at their viewer numbers. They've got what we have right now plus 2 more zeros, and they're just flopping around writing names on chalkboards. I'm like, God damn, like, some of us had to grind to get this platform to this point. You weren't even here, and now you're bigger than all of us. And maybe that's just called jealousy, but that feeling makes me a little
I was just
going
gonna say, maybe I'm just jealous and jaded and grouchy.
I mean, I'm
in general.
admittedly jealous. There are many. I know it's difficult, and it's, you know, somewhat of, you know, it's a gross simplification to say it's easier to be a girl in gaming, because there, in a lot of respects, it's way harder. But I don't know, man. Sometimes I kill for a little bit of, you know, unwanted attention, a little bit of just that extra. I'm watching you because of what you look like. Nobody watches me for what I look like anymore. They're just hoping I get riled up and say something offensive. That's the only reason they're here. It's you know, it's a thing, and that jealousy is very real as a white man in esports. God knows we've got enough of them, for fuck's sake.
Well, it's the only reason I joined the podcast today is because I like the way you look. So
Oh, thanks, man. You know, it's so much. I'm wearing a BTS. You know, yesterday I was wearing this hoodie, and somebody said, "Hey, Beyond the Summit," and I was like, "Hey, I don't work there anymore." And he was so confused. He had no idea. I don't think he recognized me, but I felt awful about everything because no one's ever recognized me wearing a Moonduck shirt before. You know, oh God, life decisions and how you can't take them back.
Yep, it's true.
Oh man.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just like on a high horse that I don't know, don't have any rights to think I'm on, about just like, wow,
man.
this is what is considered content,
Well,
quote unquote.
Isn't it a little
and then
weird?
I get on my high horse, so like, I'm gonna animate and put all this work into it. I'm so much better.
It's weird when you're a content creator. I feel like it limits your ability to consume. If I stream on Twitch for 7 hours, the last thing I want to do after that is watch more shit on Twitch. You know? So if I'm playing Dota all day and there's tournaments going on, I'm not going to stay up all night watching that. I'm going to go take a break. I'm going to watch The Matrix. You know, I'm going to cook dinner. I'm going to do me. Take a little break from the video game world. And if you have that 7 hours to just watch, man, you're absorbing on another level. I have trouble watching all of the tournaments that I don't cover. I feel like I have a finite amount of consumption for video games. Though, when I hear my university friends bitch about real-world problems, sometimes I think, man, I'm glad I work in the world of fantasy where at the end of the day, you could really only fuck this up so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, we're not saving lives here. We're cracking jokes. Worst case, nobody laughs, and find something else to do with my time. That's, you know,
Yeah.
Job
Could be worse.
security is also nice, so I don't know. It's all about trade-offs, right? I mean, what do you say, you're 25? I don't know if you're still on parents' health insurance, but I am of that age where I am about to lose my health insurance.
Yep, that's about to be a thing very soon.
And I feel like I'm overreacting, but I'm fucking freaking out, man. I haven't been to the
maybe I
doctor
should
in
be.
like 3 years, and I'm thinking I should just go and have them look at me and, you know, just... I got this freckle a year ago, guys. I don't know. Looks suspicious. It's darker than the rest.
If it's not too late, yeah, you should just go. As far as being on the insurance, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad idea, but... You know, there is this trade-off for stability, and that is one thing that esports and content creation doesn't give you. You know, I gave up the salary with BTS to do freelance and have that freedom, and I thought the freedom would be so much better. But now that I have the freedom, I'm just stressing out and freaking out because I'm not sure if I'm using my time wisely enough. Sometimes it'd be nice to have a little structure injected in there. You know, somebody just telling me when to show up and what to do. You know, just a checklist of if you achieve this today, you earned your salary. I have to make up that checklist for myself every day. And the discipline it takes to not just write, fuck off and watch Netflix, check. Some days is a little more than it should be. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know what else to say other than I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
It is oddly stressful, though. I mean, the grass is always greener. And it's easy to see how going to like a 9-to-5 cubicle job where that's all you get all the time would be super dreary and boring. But
yeah,
there's got to be a work environment that exists somewhere in the middle, you know?
Yeah.
Part of me
I've been
thinks
looking
it's
into
computer
something.
science, but I don't know.
I looked up something like called, I think it's co-working spaces.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's kind of what we're talking about. But
It's
at the
kind of
same
like you
time,
rent a desk in an area
yeah,
where everyone else rents a desk, and you're all working on different shit, but you're near
yeah,
each other, so you talk and network and
yeah. I don't know if it's
collaborate.
actually something I want to do, but it sort of sounded relevant
Yeah,
when
that's
I came across it.
I've heard of those, and I had the same reaction. Though it to me, it's probably similar to every time I hear about a networking mixer, and I think, oh, technology mixer. That sounds fun. I'm gonna go make some new friends. I'm gonna get a drink.
Hmm.
This is gonna be awesome. And I show up and I do that. I don't know anybody here. Let's get a beer and stand here awkwardly. Let's pound it and let's leave. And that's usually what happens every single time. But for some reason, when I get an evite for another networking mixer where I didn't talk to anybody, I think to myself, man, that sounds like fun. I haven't left the house in a while. And then that cycle of just the grass is always greener repeats. And then after a few times, I stop and wonder what the fuck I'm doing and get hammered and forget about it. And then the cycle continues once more. It's a bad, bad thing that I've gotten into. I don't know how you make friends, you know? I used to really hate
Me
the
neither.
forced interaction of high school and university. And now I wane for the day when I'm forced to interact with people because what do you
Yeah.
go to the grocery store and you bump into somebody and make a joke about the carrots? Like what do you how do you People used to tell me
Well,
to, I used to do yoga frequently. I haven't done it in a couple months. They say, "Well, there's a lot of girls there. Meet some girls at yoga." I'm like, "What do you say to the girl? You're like you're like the one dude in the room of 20 girls. Half of them are fucking moms there on their lunch break. The other half might be young and cool, might be young and crazy. What do you say? Great workout." You're like, "Oh man, your downward dog is getting better. I can see your posture." Like, what do you I've got nothing to say there. I'm just saying I'm glad
oh man.
thank you for not shutting the door when I tried to come in because I know you guys actually don't like it when dudes are here. That's the only thing I can hear in my head when they look at me. So that's it. Outside of that, I don't leave the house.
I got nothing.
Damn it.
I'm just blown away.
No, it's true, man. And every time like
I mean, no, I am in agreement. Like, it's a problem for me. Like, really is. I don't know if it was obvious in the video where it's like, okay, I'm just gonna work here, and I'm done working for the day. I guess I'll play something. I'm still here, still here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to
Okay.
think that change of environment wasn't important. That, it's no big deal if my computer and bed are in the same room. I'm living the dream because I'm doing video games full time. Then you do that for like a year and a half. And you're like, I spend like 22 and a half hours a day in this room between sleeping, eating, gaming, relaxing, and working. I need to go out more. And then you start to think, well, where am I going to go out to? All the things I like are in this room. I have a problem. And then
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
know
it happens. And it's
for
hard.
sure.
A lot of people, I think, don't never experience that because most people go to work and go to a job, right? That's like a
Hmm.
very normal thing to do. And it's hard to
That would
articulate.
that would be like the dream. Like, if I was well off enough to be like, all right, I'm getting an office. Yes, and I'm gonna go there every
That
day
would be
and
sick.
then leave it. It'd just be the greatest, but not a realistic thing yet. Maybe someday.
Maybe someday. Keep dreaming. Yeah.
Yep.
I like how people in chat they're like, just talk to people. I'm like, yeah, that's great. I'm a classic overthinker. I think I've got a little Asperger's going on. That's actually not even a joke. I think I'm just really weird with strangers, and it's tough. It's especially odd for me because I'm like a personality, right? And when I go to an
Uh-huh.
event and people recognize me, I've gotten really, really good at interacting with fans. And it was a skill. I remember the first few times people recognized me and I didn't know what to say to them. I'm just like, yeah, cool. So you like Dota? Yeah, I bet you, I bet you do, Slugger. Yeah, but I just I had nothing. I was just shooting blanks. And you slowly, I like saw other people interacted with fans, and I noticed that all the people that I thought did a really good job, just like your goal is just to make somebody feel special for 30 seconds or a minute, however long it is you're talking to them. And you just have to have a very clear, hard cut of like, hey, we're bonding. This is cool. Chit chat, small talk about your hair. And then you're moving on. And you either go on to the next person or you walk away. And as long as you like structure it to have an arc where some people you have to kind of gauge and you realize they're sort of shy and quiet and you got to ask them questions and get them to come out of their shell, and other times people will just talk the entire time. You just have to kind of smile and nod and sign their bullshit and just wave whenever you want them to be done, and then they fuck off or whatever. Everybody's a little bit different, and it's
Hmm.
really fun, and it's awesome to be able to see that enthusiasm and meet people, but it's so different from meeting people in a normal scenario where they don't recognize you. It almost makes it harder for me because I'm like, I'm used to people approaching me now. And
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of nice. And I also don't know how to transition away from when people come up to me and are excited to meet me, who's a fan and who wants to go. Like, every time a girl comes up to me, first thing I think, all right, is she single? Okay, probably not. Let's be real. Numbers and boys and girls, this doesn't add up. So I always assume no. I always assume they're there with somebody. Playing it safe, right?
Uh-huh.
Surely not all of them, though. You know, you always hear about single, lonely girls. I'm sure one or two of them play video games, and you know,
Yeah, you always hear about that.
at least one out of 10 has to be single and trying to mingle. There's got to be some number, right? Whatever it is, 1 in 15, 1 in 20. Wherever those ones are, I'd still like to just know that. You know, I wish people would just fucking walk around with signs like, I'm single and I'm looking for someone interesting, because then I would know. And then I would
they
just,
can avoid me because I'm not interesting.
yeah,
Oh.
exactly. And then, you know, and if the sign's the other way, you know right away. Because one of my problems is, I hate the term friend zone, but I have no problem being friends with girls. I'm very satisfied if you're a girl and I'm a guy and we're just hanging out. No, we're just having fun. Like, I can control my hormones and just appreciate you as a person. And I think, unfortunately, a lot of girls interpret that as, wow, this guy really just wants to be friends. It's like, well, yes, I only want to fuck things that I'm friends with, but at the same time, I still want to fuck. So give me some signals, you know, and it's hard. It's difficult. I get stuck in that zone where I do it to myself. I'm too much of the nice guy, and some girls want the bad guy. That took me a long time. I'm bad at being the bad guy, but some girls want it.
I'm sorry that I'm so speechless after some of these. I'm
No,
I'm
dude.
quite lost.
Okay, sorry.
No. I mean,
Try to slow
I
it
actually,
down.
I can't relate.
Yeah.
suck.
So you're killing it with all the girls. You just walk up to them and
No, I just don't walk up to them.
I'm making it sound like I walk up to them.
Yeah,
on a
right.
regular thing. You know, one of my female friends in Dota that I see at events sometimes. She told me at ESL New York that she heard some girls in the bathroom talking about me, and they were talking about how with my old hair I was gross, and now with my new haircut I'm kind of hot. And I still can't tell if she was just saying that to like kind of make fun of me, or if that is an actual story that happened. And all I can think is, if that's a real thing that happened, where are these girls and why am I not talking to them? Why is it so difficult for me to meet something that likes the things that I like? Because I've given up on talking to women or people I'm interested in dating that are not into esports at all. Like, if you don't even play video games, if that doesn't register on your radar, then like it's just I've got no talking points. That's it. If you're not into American politics or video games, it's fucking over. Like,
American politics.
I'm out.
Oh, boy.
Maybe we could talk about business. We could talk about Rolling Stone for like 5 minutes.
Rolling Stone.
I mean, it's a
Or
good
the
magazine.
Rolling Stones.
You know, not the band.
Okay.
The mag. You know,
Got
we
it.
could watch HBO on Sundays. I like Bill Maher. Last Week Tonight. Donald Trump is becoming a hobby of mine.
I don't know what's happening anymore.
And video games. Seriously, like the amount of times a girl has said to me, "So, what are you thinking about getting a real job?" Once that line comes up, it's just instantly it's done. Like you cannot be attractive enough for me to be serious about you in the long term if you ever utter those goddamn words while we're near each other. I hate that so much. It's like, listen, I'm fine-tuning my skills as an individual, as a young esports entrepreneur, making my way, fighting my way through capitalism, tooth and nail. You bitch. Oh, that's such a terrible thing to say to a person. When are you going to get a real job? Unless you work at a fucking toll booth. That's the only time that line's appropriate. No offense if you've worked at a toll booth.
I haven't.
Me neither. That just, I mean, it just sounds awful. So what are you into, man? What have you been doing for fun? See anything good on Netflix?
that was a smooth transition.
Yeah, you know.
I thought so. I don't know. Netflix. Use it to fall asleep. Watch something boring.
All right.
Video games. Video games.
So all you do is watch Twitch. That's it. Make content for YouTube, watch Twitch, and go to bed. That's it.
I don't watch too much Twitch, but yeah, I've been making a lot of content and doing not too much else. So that's kind of been a problem, as you can imagine.
Okay.
Not been that great.
Are you gonna try to what? So what are you doing with your time? That's what I'm getting at here. I mean, are you gonna pick up some freelance work? Are you gonna, Go on holiday. I came up with the idea for Dota Radio when I was on holiday. You never
Yeah.
know, right? Have some champagne. I was having a mimosa at 5 p.m. Started thinking about sports radio and thought, hey, man, Dota Radio, that's pretty zingy. The domain wasn't taken. Fucking yeah. Week later,
I,
Dota Radio was born.
I think it's just a timer of when am I going to get a real job.
Oh, God.
No, that's what I don't want to do.
What
But
kind of real job would you get?
that's also a problem. I have no
Don't say
idea.
Wendy's. Don't say Wendy's, please.
I won't say Wendy's. I'll just eat there. What? I don't know. Wendy's spicy chicken. What's going on? Oh yeah, I don't want to get a real job. It's not a thing that I want. But like you said, the grass is greener. Sometimes it's like, wow, you can just
Do you
have
have
money.
any other skills?
Money's good.
Did you study? You strike me a
I went to school for
type.
film,
Oh.
but I haven't. I mean, so I kind of just made up my own thing that would kind of
How about
as
you could get a
an
job
outlet.
at the local TV station. You could do like local
Mhm.
news pieces, talk about the weather,
yeah.
the Browns.
That's a thing. The
What I don't know anything else newsworthy in Ohio.
there is
the election.
The football in Ohio is like a religion.
Okay.
So, because
right.
there's nothing else to do here
Yep.
at all.
Talk about Rand Paul.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know. That could be fun though. What are other things you can do with film?
Move to not Ohio and try to get work. It's real work. I don't know.
True.
But at the same time, I mean, I don't think I'm finished with YouTube at all. Like, it's not the plan. I think I took this past week. I didn't do anything. Like, it was Thanksgiving. I just let everybody
hang out
know
with the
that
fam where you guys
Mhm.
do you get down with the turkeys? What does your family think about the YouTube life? Was it a rocky decision when you were like, Mom, I'm going full-time YouTube? Was she like, oh, that's awesome, I understand how digital media ad revenue models work and that sounds awesome? Or was she like my mom and said, I don't understand how anybody makes money on the internet? I'm like, well, that's a loaded statement if I've ever heard one. There are a lot of ways in which individuals make money off of the internet. Use Google, you have it. That's so. How did they? Were they like, cool, buddy? Keep it
yeah.
up,
Well,
Brian?
they don't fully understand how it works,
Okay.
but they kind of understand.
Are we talking tears or high fives or just question marks
Here's a high five to question marks.
when you decided to go full-time YouTube?
Oh, well, it kind of just happened. It wasn't really like one day I was like,
Okay, I see.
this is what I will do. I don't know. I think it just gained enough traction that I thought it was possible at the time, I guess.
Okay,
I don't know.
all right.
As we're finding out, I still don't know what I'm doing.
But
I
you just
learned a
fucking
lot
roll
along
with
the
it,
way.
man. I like that.
I did learn a lot along the way, so that's good.
Sometimes I feel like I need to roll with it more often, where I get too paranoid about trying to map stuff out and make a plan. Sometimes it's better just to sit back and just react, man. Let it happen.
And I'm trying to argue the other point now. So, I don't know.
It's
I
all
guess
middle
a good
grounds,
balance.
Yeah.
Moderation.
Moderation. That's it. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
But yeah, I took this week to kind of do nothing, reevaluate. It's still up in the air. I'm not positive the direction, but YouTube is probably still kind of gonna be my biggest home.
Maybe you just need a pet. Maybe a cat would help.
Yeah.
You could. Hey, I've heard Shiver told me that
I
that's
could
why
film
she
the
has
cat.
a cat, because she was like, I live by myself, a little bit lonely. I get the cat. Now you got something to cuddle with, something soft and fluffy that you can rub and fall asleep with.
Yeah. But then I could
Okay.
film the cat.
You could film the cat.
put it on
Everybody-
YouTube.
Everybody likes kittens. Those Let's Play Games videos, those are some of the most popular on YouTube. So you've got the
boy.
foundation. Why don't you just play some games, bro?
I am so glad you brought that up. That has been something I've been trying to tackle with, like, should I even do this? Is it a good idea to do this? Am I even good at it? Which is kind of a funny thing to say about playing video games and talking. But I don't know. It's something that's on my radar, but I'm not sure if it feels right. There has to be something more to it, I felt like. But I haven't really thought of something that's more to it yet, so it's not like I have an answer.
I mean,
I don't know.
just tell funny, made-up stories while you're slaying people and edit it with some quick cuts.
Gotta,
Young kids will love it.
See, part of me wants to just like satirize. Is that the word?
Yeah, dude.
Satirize that kind of thing instead of actually do it.
Do it.
But I don't know. Might be the angle.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, though. You're a quality over quantity kind of guy, and that's good. Maybe not for maximizing money on YouTube, but best for your integrity, that's for sure.
Right. So maybe integrity is overrated. So I don't know. Maybe it
Yeah.
isn't.
Yeah, money's nice too. I'm not gonna
It
lie.
is.
Owning a house has got to be a good feeling. I dream of that one day. When I have a place I can call my own, you can do whatever you want to. I don't have to worry about any bitchy ass landlord. Man, that sounds awesome.
Mm.
I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not rich enough for a house. I'm still.
Me
I'm
neither.
dreaming. Dreaming.
Yes. Me too. I think so. Maybe like that, something that easy to make would be something to do so that I can keep making like cartoon things every now and
Right.
again. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's
You
just
know.
something that I haven't done until this point. So I didn't be like, hey, everybody, guess what? Now I'm just going to play Fallout 5, whatever games are out nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird world.
I'm sure you would do well playing Fallout, man. It sounds like you have an interesting perspective on the world. You know, just whip it out, and you could do a character.
Whip out my perspective on the world?
You could play up the cynicism. You know,
Yeah.
you could be like the cynical Brit, except not. You could be.
The cynical Midwesterner.
Yep.
There we go.
Have you ever seen?
You heard it here first.
You ever seen the League of Legends videos, the Just Okay guides? You know, that kind of angle.
I haven't.
They're pretty funny. It's just a guy in a sarcastically monotone voice. Welcome back to Just Okay Guides. Today we're going to take a look at, and he talks about a specific hero, and it's edited usually like kind of funny with some quick cuts and stuff.
Yeah.
They're laughable.
Some
I think the guy just gets really high and talks into a microphone. That's what it sounds like.
Some of the weird like YouTube-isms that are sort of found funny. I don't know if this makes any sense. But like just like the quick cuts and text on the screen of what you're saying at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Sometimes there's like, oh, the text is appearing as I'm saying these words. Is that funny? I don't understand.
It's just it's like distraction humor, right? The text kind of adds emphasis to the characters. If you have the timing on right, it sometimes it can be funny.
Yeah. See, maybe I am just cynical and jaded and weird.
Yeah, it sounds like you have very high standards for humor, and you just like things that are deep and witty. You're not into topical humor, which is good because just remember that most people are stupider than you and like topical humor. So, like that movie in what is Idiosyncrasy, where the guy goes into the future and they're all retarded because all the retarded people are born kids. You know what I'm talking about?
I'm not familiar, but
it's
I believe
a movie
you.
that's based on the concept that rich and educated people breed less than poor uneducated folk that have nothing better to do than fuck like rabbits and make a bunch of kids. It's like Roseanne versus the rich people, the daddy warbucks that just adopts one kid. So over time, the guy goes in a time machine. Then over time, society becomes more stupid. So when he arrives in the future, he's like a genius or whatever. And their favorite TV show in the future is this guy that just gets kicked in the balls all the time, and they all think it's hysterical and the funniest thing in the world. So the point is that lowbrow humor like appeals to the lowest common denominator, and that's why it's so fucking popular on YouTube with just people doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Guess I need to stop. I need to stop caring what people think.
You need to dumb it down a little. Maybe is that bad advice?
Yeah, that would imply that what I did now was smart, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, maybe take the dumbness level down wherever it was. However low it was.
The Dota Reporter is not really lowbrow, I would say. It's not like highbrow, like super witty humor, but it's I like it. It's clever.
I think it has lots of variance because of the way it was made.
Yeah.
Like just like, oh, that week was a lot different and a lot funnier than this other random episode that was just also on the spot and just maybe didn't work as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's also pretty niche,
yeah.
Like English speaking Dota 2,
exactly.
Like story almost like.
That's what's cool about the variety streamers. When you're just known as a personality instead of a game, all of those people follow you to other games. That's what I always thought was cool about it. You know, there was a period where I really just wanted to be Total Biscuit because I just thought of his. It doesn't get old. Whenever there are times when I get tired of Dota. There were times when I was doing StarCraft and I got tired of StarCraft because it's the only game you focus. He gets to play a new game every fucking day. Makes a video about it, gives his British accent into this game, and says whatever the fuck he wants. Doesn't give any shits. And he's known as the guy that doesn't give a shit. That's awesome, man. He's like a man of the people, good reputation. He's got the consumers back. People fucking love him. Some people hate him, but that's okay. You can't win them all over. That sounded like the dream, but I don't know. I don't know if it is. I don't know what the dream is anymore.
I see. I part of my problem is I never thought about things like, I don't know. I guess I never thought about things. I just made stuff and threw it out there. So I was like, there was never any strategy. There was never any like, I don't know how else to put it. I guess I didn't think about it.
So you fucking got out there and did. That was
like,
it.
Yeah. So like I was saying, if you were to like pitch a YouTube channel, like, all right, so we're gonna make cartoons, lots of characters, like 10 characters, okay? 10. They all have to have different voices, okay? Are you writing this down? Blah blah blah. Okay, so it's gonna be based on this video game, English speaking, 3-4 minutes every 2 weeks. Like, this is not a good business plan. It's not. It's just what I was doing. Like, it's awful.
Oh God, I love it.
If you were to backtrack and look at it, like, in a way, that's a problem. So I mean, it's part of why I'm kind of addressing it.
I see where you're coming from. No,
I never thought of myself as like a business and trying to, making money. But then I was like, I should actually make money now.
Yeah, well, that has been a big change for me as well. I always tried to approach it from a kind of a business standpoint, but it hasn't been until the last like year and a half, 2 years that I've really understood the business side of it and the business models and known how to make money. The first like 3 years of me doing shit in esports, I was just kind of working on random shit that sounded kind of cool and trying to come up with shows and content and interviews, and just most of it was garbage. You know, I was just trying to find something interesting and a way to apply my skills and try to stay relevant and keep expanding my skills. That was the big draw for me with esports. For a lot of it was just the learning process. You know, I started when I was still studying, so just learning how to put my web dev skills to use and learn how to network and broadcast and do some of this production stuff and all that shit. And the last year in particular, I mean, leaving BTS and moving to Moonduck, I see people writing on Reddit like, oh, he's irrelevant now. I'm like, well, I'm just running a business now. It's different from before when I was hired by a business just to be a talking head. My job was just to be a commentator. Now my job is, to sign paychecks and make sure shit works right and file taxes and do less fun things. Although I do wish I was casting more, to be honest. It's weird how it's so easy to get burned out from that kind of work, but when you don't do it for a while because it's so intense, you really just, God damn, I just want to yell about video games.
Yeah.
I also want to play World of Warcraft, man. I'm moving, right? I'm moving in with one of my my old friends, and we used to play WoW together. And we were talking about it. Just like, I know it's going to be shitty compared to old WoW, but god damn, us reminiscing really makes me want to play WoW with my buds. Start doing like Friday night raids or something. It's all casual, so we could just fuck around and ride our mounts around Azeroth. I don't know, dude. That sounds like a dream of a Friday night to me. I got nothing better to do.
Yeah, I haven't played WoW in a long time. I was a big raider.
Yeah? Yeah? What expansion did you stop?
It was mainly Wrath of the Lich King. Okay. So I was like 18, so it was like mainly just that expansion.
Yep. Okay. I played the first 3. I quit after Lich King though. I didn't buy Kata, and I was looking. My account deactivated in 2011. What a long time to take a break and come back. My God. Were you a horde?
No, I was not.
Woo! Hot dog. All right. Cool.
I was a Draenei shaman.
A Draenei shaman. Wow, look at you. All right, well, if you want to start playing WoW, you let me know, man. If you're in, I'm fucking in. Be like, guys, tell my friends this guy's awesome. This is my boy. We're going to play WoW with him.
That'll be the Let's Play coming up.
Let's Play? Dude, there we go. We could tag team it. I got the Twitch side. You've got the YouTube side. We're in. We got this. We'll raid
install WoW right now.
Whatever the hot content is. But super casual. You get geared out in just a couple weeks and then just, kill each other, make some jokes.
There you go.
God.
Oh boy.
Dreams are coming real. All right, man.
Wow.
Well, we're about at that point. Anything else you want to talk about? Any stones you want to turn over? If you just want to yell at the world, man, go for it.
Um, okay, world, I still don't know what I'm doing. Hopefully I find something out soon, and everybody will find out with me, because it'll all be public. Hooray!
Yes, public jobs. Well, that's awesome. Thank you
I don't
so
know.
much for joining me, though, man. So many people say what you said at the beginning of this, or I don't know how to podcast, and you just did it, dude. That was killer. If we were in real life, we'd pound it out right now. Pound, you know.
Did I just cast a pod?
You did. That's
Oh
all
my.
you got to do. Just talk about the things that you know.
Phew. Well, that's everything I do know. We've spent it all. So show well done, because I don't know anything else.
Well, you know, it's that's what I love about the podcast. Is some weeks when I don't have much to talk about, I just vent about politics, and then when there's something cool going on, or I bump into a guest, or I want to bring somebody on, I've got a little platform where we can sit down and have a chit chat. And you never know, man. Sometimes those little pearls just come out of nowhere. Sometimes the most unsuspecting clams have the prettiest pearls. Oh, and on that note, we're going to call it a podcast. So join us next time, guys. Who knows when it'll be? This podcast is irregular as fuck. So thank you for joining us and enjoying the Zyori Podcast. You can find it on the iTunes there, YouTube, and all those other social medias. It's all ZyoriTV. Just Google it. It'll pop up. We'll see you next time on the Zyori Podcast.